Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your vinyl services. How are you all? I hope you're all doing very, very well. Now forgive the squashed up sort of framing taking place here, but it's out of necessity. Now, you can see behind me, and you can hear behind me, some old vintage vinyl being played. In fact, I'll be honest, I'll be more specific, the vinyl itself isn't that old. The recordings on it are quite old. You're hearing El Maestro himself, Ennio Morricone, and it's from the double album Passion. Now I'll be honest, I adore Morricone's music, from the spaghetti westerns, from the giallo movies, to all sorts of thrillers and The Untouchables, and so many, many more genre movies. Most of the scores on this double album are from movies I don't know. They're Italiano, or maybe even Francais. And apart from Castle of the Living Dead, I don't know any of them really, but the music is gorgeous. Why am I playing this? Well, I've dug out, some of you may recognise this as well, this is the old Ferguson Solid State 3042 from 1970, which me and Mrs. Kilt-Man rescued from her father's house. Because we're trying to sell the place, so we ransacked everything of value, and I thought, an old turntable. Now, some of you know I've already got another vintage turntable, but from the 90s, a big tower system in one of the rooms at Kilt Mansion. The CDs work perfectly, the radio works perfectly, the graphic equalizer's great, the cassette deck is great. However, the turntable in transition, in transportation, suffered a bit of a lapse, and it's kind of become misaligned. But no matter all the tricks and hacks I know to get around that, it doesn't work. So it grinds and grinds going round. Oh yeah, I know, I can hear you saying, well, there are places you can go to where they'll fix it for you. I know. And then you transport it back home again, you put it on, and the whole thing is screwed up all over again. So, leave alone. But I was made up to get this. Now, I did a big video on this and I played lots of my old vinyl soundtracks from the 80s. And a right bit of good fun we had there. But this is only mono. But my God, it throws out some welly. There's some wallop to the sound system here. Now, the speaker's just here. It's right behind me. And I've got it down on literally the setting of 2. Now, this goes uber loud. It might only be mono, but it doesn't matter. It fills a room, it fills corridors, it makes the roof and the battlements crumble and tremble with the power that it exudes. Now, like Spinal Tap, I've had it customized. Most volumes go up to 10. This one goes up to 11. But yeah, it's powerful stuff. So, but why am I playing this now? Why now? Our good friend, hang on a minute, your friend and mine, Astradyne, a traveller in time, Astradyne, super mate of mine and yours, and a great channel contributor. So many crates of merch that he sent to me. Well, he sent me this a while ago, and I said, oh, I'll play that, I'll do a video on it. Well, I kind of forgot to do that. And so now I'm playing a little bit of it now. But the reason I'm doing it is because a little package has arrived today. I should show you it. It is here. It arrived literally about 40 minutes ago. And I thought, I weren't expecting nothing. I've ordered nothing. No one's warned me that they've sent me anything. But the kind of giveaway that it's Astradyne is this. It's addressed to Kilt McPlisky. So, well, I know who sent this then. And judging by the shape of it, it's either some kind of artwork or it's vinyl. It's vinyl, isn't it? Of course it is. It's got to be. So, I'm thinking, right, let's get this out. Let's crank it up and let's see what delights are in here. Now, the thing about Astradyne, folks, regular viewers will know that when he sends me all these crates of merch, which are figures, movies, t-shirts, statues, posters, all sorts of stuff, fashion, movies, Oh, everything's there. Props, swords, you name it, it can be in there. He sends a lot of music as well. Not only movie soundtracks, but experimental prog rock and early electro experimental stuff, which forms the basis of a lot of us love electronic music. The likes of Tangerine Dream, the likes of Kraftwerk, and of course John Carpenter, a pioneer of synthesized movie music. Yeah, there've been many others beforehand who've ventured into that realm. But he sends me these things, and a lot of the time I haven't got a Scooby-Doo who these people are. these prog rockers, and it's a mind-blowing odyssey of him trying to educate me in alternative music, things that I thought I knew about, but there's an entire universe there that I had no idea existed, and artists I've never heard of before. But let's have a little butchers at this. Now, you see the way this is wrapped up here? In the past, whenever you see, because he sends a few vinyl things like this, and they're wrapped up like that, I've hacked into these boxes, these packages, and only now have I realised it actually says here, here offenen, which is obviously the English translation is open here. I never knew that. So obviously these little black tabs here, I take it you just pull this up and then, how easy was that? Of course, this dickhead never realised that beforehand. So folks, is it a soundtrack? Is it prog rock? Is it actually some artwork on a metal background? Because he's done that before as well. I have no idea. Okay, there's a little, it's the little invoice thing, the shipping notice. Well, it's definitely vinyl, I can tell. What's that? Limited red vinyl. This Ennio Morricone, this first vinyl of the double vinyl release is in passionate red. The other album is actually white. This says Isn't this the guy from the band Suicide? The Sum of Our Wounds. Cassette recordings, 1973 to 1985. Martin Rev. You guys could read that, couldn't you? I couldn't. I was too close. Yeah, he formed Suicide with Alan Vega, who's dead now. And he's about 75 now, this guy. And did a lot of experimental sort of free jazz stuff, and then ventured into using, electronica. And there he is on the back there. So you're getting lots of warp out, ring light and reflections off that light. So, side A, we've got Yearning, Dreams, Skateboard, Laredo, Zeitpunkt, Rio Grande, Baby Oh Baby, in brackets, Mix, then Abracadabra. On side B, we've got Lineup, El Barrio, She's Back, Temptation, is that Heaven 17? Temptation. Asia, Around the Corner, Marie. That was his wife. And Whisper, which is a vocal. Okay, well, here we are. Limited red vinyl edition, number 471 of 500. That's still pretty good. Yeah. Oh, cheers, Astradyne, cheers. I mean, I'm going to play this, and to be honest with you, I can't remember a single track that Suicide released, but I do know of Suicide, and these are obviously experimental. It says cassette recording 73 to 85. So I'm presuming this is something which I can't get into. Oh, we're there, we've done it. But you don't want to get rid of the little red flash there, do you? This is the thing about having physical media, why it means so much to us. Having all these little labels that are on it. I've got, well, hundreds and hundreds of soundtracks and albums. Everything by the Doors, even when the Doors carried on after Jim Morrison had gone. And Big Country and Erasure, lots of diverse stuff. Nick Kershaw, got a little Duran Duran, and you've got little labels on these things. Sometimes from the store when you bought them, like in my case, a lot of them are for Rocks Records, and the little labels on that were dead cool, tacky now probably, but oh yes, it's finished. When I'm playing stuff over here, it's on repeat. It just endlessly repeats itself. So we never have to stop and change anything. But yeah, the little labels, little tags, little flashes always have a lot of more meaning to you, maybe from the place you bought them. Especially, when you bought them back in the day, 60s, 70s, the 80s, even the early 90s, you were buying stuff like that. Now everyone's streaming, downloading, and if you're buying vinyl now, well, in the case of my son who collects vinyl, but they tend to be, Rolling Stones, he loves Rolling Stones, but it could be games, soundtracks, very severely limited on vinyl, but he won't take them out, he won't play them, he just has to have them as part of his collection. And I get that, I'm a collector and a hoarder myself, you may have noticed, but I'm going to take them out, but I'll try to keep the cellophane as intact as possible. So, well, I'll have to take that out. I'll have to take that out first, won't I? Oh, by the way, I'm out of proper whiskey, and this is the end of the Baileys. If you saw the last video, Baileys. Cheers, Astradyne. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, El Maestro. But shove off and make room. Right, now, got all this caper going on. Oh, God. Ooh. Oh, it's all gone hideously wrong here. You're meant to come back away. And you bring it up, and you be careful with it. And the sleeve is over here. Let's get it into that. Now, I'll be honest, folks. I've got absolutely no idea what this is going to sound like. But here we go. So this is Martin Rev, The Sum of Our Wounds, cassette recordings from 1973-85. Now, of course, it was taken from cassette recordings and then obviously put onto vinyl. Let's have a little look at the... No idea. No idea. Is that like oil in water, do you think? Making that? I don't know. Ooh, that's fine. Oh, it's... Oh, yeah. A Sedative Night, like the Ennio Morricone album. Oh, come on, come here. We're talking rather lustrously beautiful red. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. Okay, let's. What side are we on there? Oh, right, that side B. Right. Other side, this side, A. So let's put that on there. Bring your little lever across. And we have the wonderful thing of auto start. So let's do that. And watch how this probably doesn't work now. Oh no. I have no idea, folks, what this will be like. But I'll turn it up. The sort of carousel-like sound there going on. We'll leave Morricone's posters up there for the movies. The sound quality will, I presume, be appreciably not that good. If they're taken from vintage cassette recordings, then transferred onto vinyl. Probably been mixed and remixed several times over the last few generations. Kind of like music box and, you know, a carousel. Like you're drifting past some maybe haunted fun fair which has been closed down due to health and safety reasons, and that thing that happened 10 years ago, which we don't talk about anymore. And then you're just drifting past there and you hear this carousel music hauntingly in the distance, drawing you in. And then you hear this. I like it. So, obviously, yeah, tickling the ivories there. I've heard people say that phrase as tinkling the ivories. No, it's not. You're literally tickling the ivories on a piano. You're not tinkling them, are you? At my age, I get up at 2, 3 in the morning for a quick tinkle, you know. You're not going to go and piss on the keyboard, are you? You're tickling the keys. I like this. That's catchy, that's great. Apologies to people out there who know Martin Rev and Suicide a hell of a lot better than me. But it's a learning curve. This is what Astradyne does. And so far, lesson 1's going pretty well. Oh, by the way, that is from the John Carpenter gig in Manchester, which was the second gig I went to live with John Carpenter. Went on the Friday night in Liverpool, dressed as Snake Plissken. Went to the Manchester gig on the Saturday night, the very next night, dressed as Snake Plissken. In all the authentic gear as well. Oh yeah, and the hair was down. I even had a ciggy as well, and I don't smoke. And of course you couldn't smoke in there, but it was just pursed on the lip. I am liking this, you know. There's a bit of craft work there. I'm the operator with my pocket calculator. Isn't there? I say I could really turn this up. Even the servants who are working at the moment on the battlements and ramparts, getting all the moss and the leaves off it, like, you know, got to keep them busy. They're up there now, hosing away and sweeping away, and they're probably all so again, you're talking 75. Yeah, it's the analog stuff. You're talking Moogs here. See, I don't know a great deal. I might love electronic music and the whole sound design that they create and they evoke, especially in the rhythmic and the beat section, like, which John Carpenter excelled at, of course. But the actual equipment, no, don't know. Synclavier was in the 80s, wasn't it? So maybe this, because this goes up to the 80s, maybe that gets brought in at some point. That is great though, isn't it? Obviously, I presume this would be stereo mixed to begin with. Or it certainly has undergone a stereo remix at some point. which you're not, well, I'm not getting that, but that, ooh, I'm sure would move around the speakers. I can't hook this up to like, because I've got Dolby Atmos and all that, and there's no way I can hook this up to that system. Okay. Bit of angle grinding going on there. See, I may not have mentioned as well that, you know, Suicide was sort of like punk as well. Pushed everything out there. I think Martin Rev could do like classical stuff, but done via this method. Bit of a classical sound to it, classically written and, you know, delivered. But this is pure punk, innit? He says, sipping his Baileys. The most unpunk drink the world has ever known. That's his voice, isn't it? He's doing voice there as well. He's modulating vocals into this as well. That's like gargling. It is great though, it's super catchy. Astradyne, you've done well here, mate. You've done really well. If anyone had played this to me, you know, and said, who's that? I'd have gone like, you asking me? Buy me a whiskey and I'll think about it for a bit and get back to you. But I would like it though. There is a lot of tonalities there and like sort of the droning different sort of frequencies which would be incorporated into synthesized movie scores. So you can see how this could be perhaps influential. Although I don't think I've ever heard John Carpenter ever mention Martin Rev or Suicide. Okay, what's next? Bit of Logan's Run, Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah. Which was 74, 75. It was just before Star Wars when Logan's Run came out. And of course, it was great, you know, with Box, you know, the android, the robot. Protein, fish, plankton, protein from the sea. With the great black actor, I forgot his name, not James L. Jones, but another wonderful, fantastic vocal from a great black actor who played Box, the robot, who's going to freeze them. Logan and Jessica. Jessica played, of course, by Jenny Agutter, who's still unbelievably gorgeous. But this does sound like Logan's Run, doesn't it? Which was a big, like Planet of the Apes for Jerry Goldsmith, and like Patton with the echoplexing for Patton. Goldsmith really pushed boundaries with Logan's Run. It's very sci-fi, isn't it? You've already picked this in different elements already. This is top stuff. Now you're getting like the main theme sort of coming in now. It's almost like a sort of BBC sound studio the Doctor Who element going on as well. Just like whoops and whizzes and whirs and brooms taking place. You tell he's just having a great time. Just he's like, look, it can make this noise, that noise, and I can put them together. And then I can bring that noise in as well. And then I can bring my own gurgling vocals in. Oh, there's some. That's not this system, that's the old recording. That fuzzy, buzzing. I'm liking all of these. When I saw what it was, I thought, oh, this could be great, but it could be, and I'll have to pretend to love it, but I do love it. You've got the beat, it's that rhythm, that catchy rhythm, which all the 80s synth gods brought in, the New Romantics, Depeche Mode and everyone brought in that. You can hear it all here, the genesis of all that. And the likes of Eurythmics and Yazoo, you know, all these fabulous 80s bands that were post-punk and drifting into experimental stuff, synthesized stuff, but became sort of transitioned into New Romantics. Gotta love musicians that may learn one thing. Like I think in his case it was free jazz to be, of course, jazz, real jazz and its real element. And he's from New York as well, Martin Rev. So there's that piano again. So he explored jazz, and free jazz is just anything can happen. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. It's just a bunch of musicians they're all playing together, but they're not playing the same fucking song together. They're all doing their own thing, you know. Which if you love it, then you love it. Me, I'm like, the hell, and yet I love this. A mishmash of the piano's there. Really hammered. That's not tickling the ivories, that's thumping the ivories. At least vocals there. There are genuine words there, I can't make them out though. Late tonight. Well, there's definitely the word tonight was in there. If I get hit by copyright and this gets blocked, oh, I'd be like, so, for those who are interested in maybe getting this now, it's very limited. And I got number 471 out of 500. Not that many left. Where is it now? Martin Rev, The Sum of All Wounds, cassette recordings, 1973-1985. There you go. You get 471 out of 500. But, I mean, it's bound to be available on CD and probably a download as well. So, you know. Oh, there is some write-up on it actually. Should have looked at that, shouldn't I? Well, these liner notes are written by Daniel John from June 2023. The archetypal Martin Rev sound A perennial influence on generations of musicians, is most prominently in evidence in the works of Suicide, the duo he played in across decades with Alan Vega. However, the radical and distinctive nature of his music can be traced further back in time, originating in the bass energy of rock and roll, which the teenage Rev experienced as the ubiquitous soundtrack to his home city of New York. Rev initially explored free jazz, free jazz and similarly free forms of musical expression before discovering the magnetic attraction of electronic production and instrumentation, enabling him to create music in a wholly independent and autonomous environment. Shut up, Kilt-Man. The weird thing is, like I've said a lot of times, that Mrs. Kilt-Man and me are Geminis and born on the same day, just several years apart, but on the same day. And you've heard side 1, side A. And I'm the more flamboyant, outrageous, wild, ridiculous Gemini. But she's the flip side of that. She's the wise, courteous, cautious, compassionate, more low-key version. But together, if any astrologer ever writes, the full profile of a Gemini, by the way, it's all bunkum and bullshit astrology. It is, but anyway. But the Gemini, it's funny how the Gemini picture, the profile, is made of the two things, the negative, the positive, obviously, but bolted together. I am, you could say the negative, and she's the positive, but I think it's the other way around. The more outrageous, wisecracking, doolally, crazy bastard, that's the positive energy. But put the two of us together, make the full official profile of a Gemini. Why am I boring you with this? Because you think me and her like the same things. Oh, we do not. We do like to go out and party and to drink. We do like that. But she's not a lover of movies, or swords, or knives, or guns, or fighting, or military. No. Well, of course, all the things that make me. But we're still together. But one of the things we do love is 80s music and the likes of the New Romantics. She loves a lot more than just New Romantics. She loves Elton John and all that shite, and loves Michael Jackson and 70s disco. Well, who doesn't love 70s disco? But she loves all funk and all that kind of thing. And, but our love of music is the thing which definitely brings us together. And I could tell you now that she'll like this, because she'll find that beat to it, which is really infectious. I know, shut up, Kilt-Man, and put side B on. Okay, I will. I'll do that little ting. Come here there. Let's flip you over. Ooh. Bit of husky fare got in there. And I don't mean from the one on the t-shirt there. I mean from the real one. It was just over there. Right, let's do our nifty auto start. We drop into place. The needle drops. And craziness ensues. So this is lineup. I wonder if on this side we get really more experimental and strange. Ask him. Okay, there's not a lot going on here, is there? That is coming back. Pissed as a fart, high as a kite. Oh, let's fire up that machine again. It sounds like some kind of 60s or 70s movie where they have those old school computers which are like floor to ceiling things with magnetic tapes, and like something's gone wrong and it's just a tape running around. again, there's an element of Logan's Run there as well. Oh, by the way, those line notes do go on a fair bit more, but okay. So what was that? That was Lineup, wasn't it called? Lineup. So then we get El Barrio, or El Barrio. So you would think there'd be a bit of a Latin, Mexican sort of flavour to this. But no. I'll probably find out I'm actually playing that this is actually side A. And I've got it all wrong, but I think I am playing the other side. Mainly because most of those don't mention in brackets vocal or mix, whereas these do. And you heard the vocals before, so. Oh, this is definitely pushing things out. See, this sounds earlier, this sounds like more raw. And like just, you know, genuinely experimental. Whereas what we heard before was more, there was more rhythm, there was more beat, there was more substance and design to those tracks. He's looking at me going, yeah, you think so, do you? Either way, so I take it all of this is Martin Rev alone. This is not with I was going to say Vincent Vega there, Alan Vega. I don't know. Won't get much repeat value, that one. Kraftwerk again. This, I think I got the sides mixed up, because this sounds earlier to me. It's also a bit of a whooshing wind effect there, which you'd associate more with the likes of Jean-Michel Jarre. Like that, you know. Just saying. This is definitely sort of trip out to sort of music, isn't it? I remember sort of late 70s, maybe 81. Went to my mate's house, and his dad, he was an architect, and one of the tallest people in the world. I'm surprised he wasn't auditioned for playing Chewbacca or for Darth Vader, because he was that tall and super skinny as well, like a big Ichabod Crane type frame. And he'd be sitting there in the front room of their house, which he designed that house, and it was all, for back then, it was super mod, you know, it was great. Amazing windows and skylights, things that moved around, all perfectly fitted, which he'd done himself. And he'd sit there with a huge sound system, all in like a wooden sort of frame, like a piece of furniture. And he'd have them big earphones on, and he had glasses and like Stephen King hair, and he'd just be like in the zone. And I always used to wonder, what is he listening to? And when he went around, me and my mate would go through, because even my mate didn't know. I don't know what he listens to. was me, mate. We were buying vinyl of movie soundtracks, and we were buying VHS and Beta, and we were doing movies. But we went through all this stuff, like all these vinyls, and we didn't know anything at all. Didn't know any of the bands at all. It wasn't Bananarama, you know. It wasn't Madness. Who were these people? It was this, probably. But he was like, you'd see him sitting there with his eyes closed, headphones on. And clearly he was travelling through dimensions. This is definitely the earlier stuff, isn't it? This is not as rhythmic. You can tell he's just like bringing this sort of like this little timpani, this glissandi sort of glass sort of cymbal effect, and this all squelchy bullfrog stuff. I mean, you've heard like Paul McCartney in the frog chorus. But these ain't frogs doing this. These are Beelzebub's, you know, band of bullfrogs. Shameless plug for Bailey's. And I think this is the end of it. Yeah, it is now. Once again, cheers you all. Don't worry. What percentage of alcohol is this? It's about 11%, isn't it? Something stupid. It's not. Nope, can't see. Can't see. Why drink whiskey neat? 40%, for God's sake. This is pop. Or as someone left a comment on the previous video when I was drinking this, they said it's alcoholic yogurt. Well, yogurt must be good for you, isn't it? Yeah, I've got the A and B sides mixed up. Apparently it's quite a simple mistake to make. Piano's there again. Definitely a prepared piano. And you've got this sort of bell-like echo and reverb on it. Almost like an organ, but not quite a church organ. Hope you're enjoying this, by the way. Anyone who's still there. I just like the Beatles, me. I don't like any of that electronic shit. The Beatles were very, very experimental as well. Trivia for you. Oh, this will be useless because I can't remember the track. I can't remember the actual songs. On the week that my wife was born, because she's older than me, but we were born on the same day, years apart, the Beatles were number one with, I don't know, when I was born, same day, but 6 years later, June the 12th, 1969, the Beatles were number one again with, I don't know, and that was some kind of record for the longest between, you know, number ones for the same band, something like that anyway. But of course, the Beatles have just come out with another number one, haven't they? They resurrected George and John. You know, and with the use of AI. Oh, hey, a bit of AI. And they hit number one again with the new song, which ruined our little bit of, you know, me and Mrs. Kilt-Man, our Beatles trivia. Ruined it now. Damn it. Well, that sounds quite raw and disorganised, doesn't it? Do you know what this reminds me of? Marc Jacobs, that friggin' advert with them supermodels running through the daisy fields going Daisy, 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 Daisy by Marc Jacobs. Is that? Because that sounds like that advert's music. Oh yeah. Human League. See, now this is towards the end of this side, so this must have been the original. This is the earliest stuff, quite clearly, and now you're getting. Oh my god, this sounds like a mixture of Human League and Future Islands, and Future Islands are mainly synth with great drums and percussion, like. Oh yeah, this is great. It's got that sort of earnest quality to it. That's that sincerity. And the fast beat behind it. Oh yeah. You know that feeling when you hear something new, and you hear it for the first time, and you love it straight away. Yeah, there's a Future Islands element to this. I did a big video on Future Islands, a big celebration, that got blocked. Oh god, this is gorgeous. Well, this is either Baby Oh Baby from side A, or it's Marie and Mix from side B, and Marie's his wife. But she was alive and well when he was doing this, so. Now, if there's whispering on this, it's a fuzzy organ sound to it. There's nothing wrong with a fuzzy organ. As I keep telling Mrs. Kilt-Man. I was right first time round. This is side B, because this track's called Whisper. I'm getting Twin Peaks from this. Angelo Badalamenti. And who was the girl that did the vocals for Twin Peaks for David Lynch? Forgot her name. Are you kidding me? Oh, God. I've got the soundtrack to Twin Peaks. And you've got Laura Palmer's theme, obviously, but the song Falling. This is reminding me of Twin Peaks and that stark, horrible, haunting tragedy. But it's not telling me who did the vocals. I know you're all screaming at me as well, but I can't remember the name. I'm going to play you some Twin Peaks after this. I was saying I didn't know any movie or TV composers that claimed to be influenced by Martin Rev, Suicide. Didn't the girl that sang for Twin Peaks, didn't she commit suicide? Oh God. We end on a grim note, don't we? Okay, you just heard that track, Whisper it's called. Okay, well that's going to finish now. That is the last track on there. Hope you enjoyed all that, by the way. I did. It's not a long album, is it? But wow, there's a lot of stuff there. I think the first side A is the one with all the catchy stuff. So I take it he was coming out of the freestyle jazz, but he was taking rock and roll influence as well. And then, so he had this sort of like beat. I can't create something without a proper beat to it. So this is me just trying to make this thing work now. That's why the first side, the earlier stuff, I take it, sounded more cohesive as a presentation. And it was just overall, each track was that catchy and brilliant. And then we go on to side B, and it was like, that sounded more raw. So maybe he then ditched, there's more stuff I can play with here. So I'm going to ditch the conventions of having a rhythmic beat there and a melody. Let's just hit the weird stuff. That's what I'm saying anyway. But let's go for, you just heard that whisper now. It's not the same rhythm, or rather it is. This is just slower than what you just heard. There were bits in that which, when this rises up and it gets those little emotional notes, he had in there. Dear. Even Talos, the bronze titan, he's up there somewhere. Talos there from. And he's also up there. He's there in Jason the Argonauts poster canvas. Even this would break his heart. I don't want to bring that back in because there'll be too much messing around. But can you hear elements of what you just heard in Whisper here? Oh God, I've got the CD of this, and there's a nice liner notes which would give me her bloody name. I got her name, and I'm sure she committed suicide as well, These like pop tragic ballads became a very big thing, of course, during the 80s. these haunting vocals and sort of hushed, whispery voices. If you put like sort of thrash guitars and a great big drum beat behind this, you get goth. So we've covered a lot. We've had Ennio Morricone as well. Astradyne, mate, I think you reduced me to a quivering wreck. I love this. Absolutely love it. And Morricone, I love that as well. But this is, I just didn't expect it. I mean, on the video, you can go back and listen to that last track. You can just move your finger back along the little thing, you know, for YouTube, the video. You could do it a lot easier than I can. And I might be wrong, but that reminds me certainly of, I think it's this track. And that came before it. So I think we've highlighted and identified a fair bit of the influence that Martin Rev has had upon TV and film scoring structure. So that's a hell of a legacy. He's 75 now. Well, he's going to be there about 75. He's definitely knocking on a bit. Martin Rev, I mean. Fuck it, we'll play that again as well. So you've got that in mind. Right. It's going to say crackerjack timing, this Kilt-Man. The thing about these built-up turntables like this. God, got it, nailed it. Are you hearing it? It is hugely similar. Let's move it to 2.5. Angelo Badalamenti did the exquisite score for Twin Peaks and Fire Walk with Me and all that. But did he hear this? He's very experimental with his score as well. Well, I'm getting it. There's also elements of the Velvet Underground here as well, you know. That sort of basement level, subversive love song, laments and love songs, but done subterranean. And what was her name? Nina? Was it Nina? God, I forgot everyone's name now. From the Velvet Underground. I can see this being used in it. Not necessarily a Tarantino movie, but a wannabe cult horror movie or thriller. This would be used, and everyone would be like, "What's that song? That song's amazing. It's stuck in my head. God, I love it. I love it." I'm gonna play it again. So that's what influenced Future Islands playing there. And this is what's going to has influenced Angelo Badalamenti and David Lynch for Twin Peaks. And will influence, hopefully from this video as well, some enterprising composer or director will put this into a movie and it will become a big new. God, have you heard that? That song gets in you, doesn't it? It's great. Let me this. Got a good look. His face is going like, you reckon, do you? Yeah. He's like, I'm cool without wearing a kilt. You've got to put a kilt on to think you're cool. He's got that New York look as well, hasn't he? I'll show you it again. That New York sort of look about him. You can see him in the Warriors, you know? I'm going to play this straight after. There's also like a Tom Waits style to, like, you know, they're not caring about the vocals. It's just right up close to the mic or whatever you're using. And just like pure Tom Waits sort of. Don't care about clarity or pitch or sonority. Okay. Now it sounds nothing like it at all. There is. It is that. If play this trick, if you have that track, play it sometime in the evening, and then later on play Falling from Twin Peaks, and whoever you're with, they're going to go, they're going to think that sounds different than when you played it before. And you went, ha, but you thought the two were the same, didn't you? folks, I play music all the time. I always hear similarities, whether they're genuinely there or it's just it's a particular rhythm of do 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 whatever, you know, a 5/4, a 2, whatever it is. You know, they're used throughout music, songs and ballads and whatever. But that reminded me of this, and now I've heard the two together, back to back. I'm still not backing down. They sound the same. This stuff could have influenced the BBC Sound studio for Doctor Who, all the weird stuff that was taking place in some of the earlier things. John Carpenter's at Kraftwerk, Human League, everybody. Of course, what I've done, I've let it play into the Twin Peaks main theme, which is that song, but it's playing without the vocals, which would have been a big difference. What an idiot! What a fucking idiot! When the vocals start, you'll hear there's an even greater similarity. That's the thing about, on this, everything repeats, so it plays an entire playlist or soundtrack or whatever, an album. It'll go back to the beginning again and just keep on playing the whole thing all the way through. So I was on the final track, which is this, the vocal version, and it went straight back onto as I let it play on, thought, oh, I'm going to time this just right, it's going to seek from that into this, and it went straight to the actual Twin Peaks theme without the vocals. Ah, folks, this was a much longer video than I anticipated. And it was for you guys as well. I'm not going to play out, anyway. I care not. We're all falling. All of us. It's just how much you grip onto the sides and how much you dread the landing, or whether the actual fall itself is life and the landing is just the next stage. But we're all falling, all of us. See, it's with the vocals which evokes that. She goes higher but croons it softly and slowly, and he is just growling, whisper. Oh, Astradyne, you've played an absolute blinder here, mate. You really have. I love it. It's got me, and it's creative, and it's exciting, it's exhilarating. It's made me think about what it could have influenced. And I've got to take that thing out. Husky's just over there right now. So this video, if it doesn't get blocked, this video will not go on until much later after I finish recording. It won't go on until tonight. But anyway, folks, I have been on Channel Contributor Astradyne. Please, in the meantime, in this ever vinyl exploratory in between time, please keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, be happy y'all, and explore music. Your movies are one thing. I've said this so many times. Your movies and your scenes and the characters, the stories mean a lot to you. Remove the music, they won't mean anywhere near as much to you. Our favourite movies: Jaws, The Thing, Escape from New York, Great Escape, Magnificent Seven, Spaghetti Westerns, Halloween. Take the music out. It's not there, folks. It's not there. They'll still be great, but they will not be anywhere near as great. Music does more to you than visuals does. This is why, like, when soundtracks came out, and people, why are you buying the music to a film? What? Because you play the music and just close your eyes, and the film would unspool before your internal eye. But also, other stories would play out. Not necessarily what you'd seen in that movie, but your own imagination took over and listened to the themes, and you discovered undercurrents and musical subtext, and this is why music means so much. All music, your classical music, your free jazz, your prog rock, your soft rock, your heavy metal, and your middle of the road mainstream stuff, like even your manufactured bands, it all means something to you on some level. Music gets in there. It speaks to whatever is inside us. Soul, some would call it, spirit, whatever. It speaks to that essence that is you and transports you. So I'm reminded of Ichabod Crane, my mate's dad, the architect, sitting there about 20 feet tall with his Stephen King hairdo, and he had big crazy teeth as well, like and a bit of a sort of bald head, and these massive archaic headphones on, and he was just all over the show, in his own world, just transported. That's what music does. Right, anyway, that's enough of that. Hope you enjoyed the old vinyl again. This is a great bit of kit. They don't build them like this anymore, that's for certain. Anything you get these days has a built-in expiry date, like replicants. They're not going to last forever unless you're a special one. Anyway, but the old stuff was built to last. Bit of dust in there, clean that out, of course. But unlike the more modern one, where the drive belt's gone, nothing you can do with that. This got transported on the back seat of Mrs. Kilt-Man's car for 35 miles through tunnels and traffic jams and all sorts, and it came and survived. The other turntable came from literally 3 minutes down the road, but we drove to pick it up because of all the speakers and all that. We drove to pick it up, and he's a friend of ours. He played it in the house, and it sounded great. He's playing records and all that. Wow, it's brilliant. It's just what I want. And they've got to play vinyl again. Got it out, put the first bit of vinyl. Did a video on it actually, and I thought, what's that fucking groaning noise? And it went. It was done in. Just the journey back from his house to ours, all of 3 minutes. Not even that, to be honest, had fucked up that turntable, that drive belt. And yet this tank came back. Right, anyway, please be happy, be safe, be yourselves, be back for the next video. I'm going to see you all. And don't ever say that I don't give you varied content, because he does give you varied content, colourful content, massively diverse and bizarre content, and I gives it no matter what.